Oh, I had gas right when I hit start. That's disgusting. That's not okay. Alrighty. Okay, so what time is it? Yeah, I'm like 15 minutes late to what I said, what the goal was, but it's a goal and not a promise. I try not to promise what I'm not sure I can keep, which actually should be the thing that I'm actually going to start about today, because the reason that I couldn't keep this promise of being on the live stream at 5:30 is because I wasn't able to. Well, I never actually promised this to the client, but I wasn't able to deliver certain orders to certain people at certain times. And the reason for that is because disorganization. And I have a video on trying to be organized. And despite me working on only a few websites, still got disorganized. So there was a client that I had communicated with on Fiverr, and I talked to them about, when they needed the order, and I asked them the question, "Do you have a deadline? When do you need it by?" Hey there. And they responded, but not immediately. They responded while I was asleep, so I didn't see the message. I didn't, get the ping. I actually have my phone on silent because if I didn't, I wouldn't get any sleep. And they responded and they said, yesterday. That was their response. And when I got up in the morning, I got a litany of emails from a different client. Well, a couple different clients. One of them that was mad, and then one of them that was trying to get together to do a live meeting because they wanted to talk to me about an order that I was going to do for them, which I thought I had all the information, but they wanted to go over more information. So they wanted to actually set up an actual meeting. So I had to go back and forth with them. Long story short, by the time I actually finished dealing with the two more iffy clients, the other client was basically upset. They didn't express that, but I could tell. I didn't. So it was an order on Fiverr. I didn't technically deliver it late, but due to the fact that they wanted it yesterday and I couldn't do that, and it was a small order, I went ahead and sent them the file and canceled the order. It was the least I could do, not because I think that would fix it, just because I feel like due to the fact they did respond, they did need something. I do make a little bit of a living off YouTube, but not like if I didn't do anything else, if I didn't do voiceover, if I didn't do acting, if I didn't do all this other stuff, then I wouldn't be able to live off YouTube. So, not really. It makes such a small percentage. Like basically, I would have to like juggle my bills a little bit if I didn't have YouTube, but it wouldn't. I wouldn't be out of I wouldn't be kicked out of the apartment. I would still have rent. All right. Okay. So I've noticed that, and this is part of the organization thing. Since I have done these and done a bunch of videos saying, "Hey, contact me," which I am absolutely 100% cool with. People can absolutely contact me. Sorry, I'm trying to look at my screen. There have been lots of people emailing me for more and more coaching, and which is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but if this continues, I will need a new email. I will need a new email address because for some reason, some people are contacting me through that same email for different things. So let me share some of these around. Okay. All right. For Fiverr suspended. It's over here. Okay, cool. Okay. Fiverr suspended me for inactivity. I guess I need to post more gigs. Any thoughts? How long were you inactive? Well, I mean, if you hadn't put anything on there and you hadn't, worked with any clients, and if they had been messaging you and you hadn't been responding and that had been going on for a while, then yeah, they would have suspended you. If it had been going on for like 60 days, absolutely they would have suspended you. Get the app. I say get the Fiverr. If you are going to work on Fiverr, make sure to get the app so that you're getting all the messages and you can respond immediately. You can also complete and deliver orders through the app. It's just not as easy. Basically, what I have to do is I can't really send files through the app. The app is really garbage when it comes to accepting, reading, or sending files. So, I have to send normally the client a Dropbox link and then just send some, random, picture as the file just so the order will go through. If I'm on the road. If I'm at the house, I'll do it through the computer. I don't do it through the app, but I always have that one leg that just kicks the desk. So that's what I'd say. That makes things a whole lot easier. All right. Why do you wear headphones in all your videos? Because so the speakers that I have, I don't know if I can pull these up far enough that you can see them. Maybe I can unplug this. I can kind of unplug that, but I still don't think I can reach. Okay. So these are the speakers that I have for my desk. They're just, what are they? They're Logitechs, I think. Oh, cannot see what it says. But these are just really cheap speakers that I got from like Best Buy or Walmart or something like that. I'm not a speakers kind of guy. Mostly just because I don't have the right setup in my apartment or in my house for speakers. And really good speakers often take, a lot of juice to get going. While headphones don't take all that much. And I like to know, okay, so I wear headphones when I edit, when I record and when I edit. And I know there's a back and forth between whether or not you should and whether or not you shouldn't wear headphones, but I have a whole different video for that. I wear them because I like to do my editing before I hit record and before I even hit stop. So most of my editing is done there. And what I mean by that is if there was a take that had a lot of mouth noise, I do a snap, I do a take, and then I know to do another one. Sometimes the mouth noise isn't obvious to, without headphones, like you wouldn't be able to tell. And obviously I can't listen to myself through speakers because I don't get feedback through the mic. So I like to, monitor myself clearly so that I'll know in advance what it is I need to do, what it is I need to edit, what it is I need to clean. And also I also have really loud neighbors, and if there's like a lot of like bassy music, I like to hear, okay, is it too loud? Is it so loud that I can't edit it? Is it loud enough that I have to, edit around it? Do I need to do a new take in a second? I like to just do all that. Otherwise, what ends up happening is you will do all the recording and not have any idea that you've made all these mistakes. You'll go back in and you'll do one of two things. You'll either just cut it without listening back to it, without listening back to the whole thing, assuming everything's fine, and then deliver, less than good quality to the client, or you will, listen back to it, and then you'll take the entire time listening back to it that it did recording it. And then you're like, oh, well, now I need to go and I need to re-record these lines. And so now you've just wasted a whole bunch of time. So the reason I wear the headphones is for basically the same thing. Is because a lot of these videos, especially when I'm recording them in there, I do the same thing. I'm like, is there too much noise? Do I need to cut? Do I need to, So that's why some of my videos have cuts. And I'll do the same thing. I'll do the snap and I'll know where to cut. Or I'll do a big thing of silence so that way visually I can see on the timeline, okay, here was some issue, here's some problem that I had. And so that's why I wear headphones, just so I can know in advance that there was an issue. Okay, I don't know. I had to be active. I don't know. I had to be active. I don't depend on Fiverr. I didn't have any requests. Okay, I'll check out the app. Maybe I missed requests for gigs. They should tell you. They normally should tell you. So there might be an email or something, or I mean, I guess you can't really tell because the thing's suspended. I mean, if your account wasn't completely suspended, you could actually go and look at, what did you get wrong, because they actually tell you on your dashboard now. But if you don't know and it's suspended and it's gone, then I think the thing that they ding people the most for is trying to communicate with clients off the platform, and because they don't want people drumming up business on the website and then taking their business elsewhere and them not getting their cut, because basically Fiverr is playing the role of manager or agent. So they kind of still want their cut. But, and if you're like, hey, let's do this through email. So sometimes there are clients that I do want to, communicate with through email or through something else, and through Skype, just so we can connect live. And Fiverr doesn't really have a way that I can connect with them live. So, there's a careful language that you can use, but I think that's the thing that they ding you the most for. So I guess if you don't know, then why do you use to edit your videos? Oh, what do you use to edit my videos? I use Sony Vegas. Sony Vegas, what number is it? It doesn't say, does it? 16. I think it's the latest one. No, it's not the latest one. There's a 17 out now, I think. I use Sony Vegas just because I've been using it for the longest time. It's one of the first programs that I ever used. And I don't do any special effects. I don't do any crazy edits. I just do basic editing. And so Sony Vegas is, more than enough for me. Have you had some experience with dad directors? Dad directors. Do you mean... Oh, bad directors. I don't know why my dyslexia did that, because there's two... I saw two Ds, but there's already one D in there. Bad directors. I have had experience with bad directors. And tons of different projects. Both voiceover and physical acting. I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to do that. I don't want to put people on blast. But I think one of the worst directors I've ever worked with was I was doing a project. And I'm trying not to describe it too much because then it'll be obvious to that person that I'm talking about them. But there was a sci-fi pitch for a sci-fi show, and I'm a sound guy. I'm an actor, but I'm also a sound guy. I know about sound. And sound is very important. Sound is like 90% of your film. And he wanted to shoot in an alley that had constant air vents, and he was like, don't worry about the sound. We're just gonna ADR the whole thing. And I was like hell you are. And so I went and I contacted a friend of mine. I talked to the writer, who was also kind of the producer. I talked to the writer and the producer, and I was like, hey, do y'all have anything in your budget to hire a sound guy? And he's like, yeah, we do. And I was like, okay, I have a guy. I know a guy, because I'm in the film, so I can't do it myself. So I was like, I know a guy. He's in Houston. He owes me some favors. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to. And I got them in touch. He came down, and the director was like, all right, we got the sound guy, but he's just gonna be off on the side. We're just gonna get rough rough audio, and then we'll just use his system to just ADR the whole thing later. And I was like, what the shit? And so I talked to him later on, and I was like, come here, you work for me, okay? I was like, put lavs on all of us so we can, get good audio despite all these air conditioning units. And so it was kind of this rough thing that, constantly fighting with the director who really didn't care for the actors or their lines or the audio. He was a visual guy. Everything was about getting a pretty visual, but he didn't care about continuity. He didn't basically everything else he didn't care about. He was just looking through the camera and he was just thinking of it as still images. And that's totally wrong. And, long story short, it got to the second day, and after we had some constant back and forth, second day he came in and just started out the day basically apologizing, and it was things were better. Still a lot of the same things that were bugging us on the second day, but the second day was better. All right, why is this? Doesn't say. Okay, retracted. Okay. Okay. I don't know what that message was. Yeah, I was doing a game, but I had to get out of home. Boy was tripping. Is this connected to the previous message that's not there anymore? I feel like I'm missing information on that one. As far as bad directors when it comes to voiceover, yeah, I've had a few of those. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I've had some bad directors when it comes to voiceover. In fact, I was actually just talking about some of them earlier right when I started this. But again, I don't want to go into too much detail on why they're bad directors. Mostly it just has to do with communication. When a director can't communicate effectively or doesn't really have a good visual and know how to communicate that and know how to show you what it is they want, or won't respond to your questions in a timely manner, then they kind of tiptoe into the bad director for voiceover category. I think the worst one I ever had was he was just a guy who he didn't know what he wanted, and so he wanted me to just wing something, and had no instruction, no direction, just lines. And so I was winging it, and he was like, no, that's all wrong, do it again. But he wouldn't give me any information on what to do differently, how to improve it. And so, yeah, that's gonna happen. That's happened a couple times. Okay. Hello, what do you usually do if you are cast and the director never tried to contact me? It depends. It depends on the platform. If it's like Casting Call Club, you need that back and forth from the director. You need information from them. You need the lines and all this kind of stuff. If it's on Fiverr, there's lots of times when I will get an order. Excuse me. I'll get an order from a director and they don't give me all the information. Basically, it comes down to if you've been hired and you don't have the lines, or you don't have any direction, or you don't know when or how you're getting paid, or all this kind of stuff, wait. Just wait. It has happened a couple times when, I've gotten the role and then they just didn't do the project afterwards. And you're going to get a lot of that from amateur projects on Casting Call Club. That's just going to happen. Same thing with Fiverr. Okay. Hi. Regards from the old world. I'm guessing I know you? Do I know you? Do I not know you? Or do you mean Mother Russia? The old world, mother country. My director didn't really seem like he knew what he was doing. He would just put lines in a group and yeah. Mm-hmm. I would have to scroll past 3 days worth of yeah, amateur stuff. That's amateur hour right there. This is someone who wants to get into either animation or game or something like that, and just has no idea what they're doing, and essentially makes a whole bunch of fool errors and faux pas and all this kind of stuff just out of the gate. And yeah, it can be incredibly infuriating and frustrating. I wait till I have all the information. That's what I always do. If it becomes too much and you end up not being able to do the project at all, then then don't worry about it. Just if he doesn't respond, it's fine. Okay, I'm not into voiceover. Bumped into your videos when I was on search for a mic sub because okay, which mic was it? What was the mic? I actually got someone wanting me to do a microphone review for a product that I'm not quite sure I would want to review, but I did get someone contact me about that. So hopefully when all this, virus stuff is dissipated, I'll get back into doing that again. Doing more mic reviews. I want to do more mic reviews on mics and systems that people keep asking me about, like the Blue Yeti. I've never used a Blue Yeti. I have no idea. Never got my hands on one. I really do want one just so I can test and do a review. I've been trying to find a friend who has ones I can borrow, but none of them have it or are willing to borrow it. It's like it's their business mic, so I don't want to take that away from them. I like your work on the Marvel parody videos. They're funny. Oh, thank you. Oh, Cartoon Hooligans, I'm assuming. Yeah, I'd say that's the majority of the Marvel stuff that I've done. I want to actually do a video comparing all the voices that I've done, like every single Spider-Man, like one after another, and just kind of like showing like how the voices change, kind of thing. Or just like kind of talking about them, doing commentary or something like that. I don't know what to do, but there's a lot there, and it's just a lot. Okay. Hey, do you still use Fiverr? Is it still good in 2020? Yes, I still use Fiverr. I was actually just talking about it. I still use Fiverr. I make, I think I checked, and this year the average that I make off of it is 1,270, possibly more. We'll see at the end of this month. I've already made 1,000 this month, and it's like halfway through the month, so we'll see. But most months they start out strong and then kind of peter out. So who knows? So yeah, it's still good, but it's tricky, it's complicated, and it's a lot of work. So, don't watch any of those videos where it's like, get rich quick kind of videos, or I made $100 in a day. This is how I did it. Those kind of things. Because a lot of those guys are doing like really cheap tactics that have no longevity. But yeah, you can still make money off Fiverr. It's a search engine. It's a platform that you can use. It's a free marketing platform. You just gotta know how to use it. How do you go about get on those? Did you just get invited? Yes, I did get invited. I'm gonna cut you off right there. To where I think this question is leading, and where a lot of people ask, and a lot of people because I do actually get a lot of emails and a lot of comments and a lot of people asking, hey, can you put in a good word for me for Cartoon Hooligans? Or some people even are as brash as saying, it's like, hey, I want to have your job on Cartoon Hooligans. I can do all your voices. How do I do that? Like, I'm going to tell you that. I didn't seek them out. They sought me out. Most of my best clients looked for someone and found me, saw my demos, saw my references and my reviews, and contacted me. And then we had a good back and forth. We communicated efficiently. We did, one project together. I delivered it on time, very cordial. I didn't charge for revisions. and I gave them multiple takes, and I gave it my all, and they liked it so much they kept coming back for me. That's the story that I have for every single return client, like Cartoon Hooligans. So I do know that Cartoon Hooligans is constantly cycling through other voice actors, except for me. I'm the only one that seems to be staying. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood or whatever. But there have been a couple other voice actors who've come and gone. So if you have a good demo, and you fill a niche that I don't fill, which is kind of hard because I'm kind of all over the place as far as my range. Then maybe, but don't approach them. It's actually a detriment to your chances to approach clients like that and try to get the work. Most clients that do animation, that do games, they want to seek out people that they want to work with when they're ready to seek out and look for them. They don't want to be bombarded with emails and have demos sent to them. They do not want them. So just, take your time. Let's see. All right. Was searching for reviews on the Samson CO2. Oh, okay. That's the one. Okay, good. Yeah, I actually like that mic. Those mics. Yeah, those mics. Those mics. Am I thinking of the same one? Maybe. But as I didn't have an interface, I ended up with the Q2U. Yeah, still fine mic. If it's the one I think it is. And am pretty happy with it. Well, good. I mean, that is the point. If you're happy with it, if you know how to use it, if it sounds good on you, then go with it. If that's the one that I think it is, it's the dynamic one that has like the XLR and USB at the bottom. That's a totally fine, totally legit mic. I actually have it I think I have it in my wish list for mics to review later on, because so many people have talked about it, so I'm really trying to get my hands on it. Anyway, have you ever been a part of SAG-AFTRA? Yes. I think 4 times. Here's the thing, is that I don't have proof for some of these. I don't have... Some of these projects didn't actually go through, but I still signed a contract for a SAG project. And you're technically only given 3. You have to have 3 in order to get into SAG. I think you have to have 3 SAG credits, and I technically have those, but I can't find them. I don't know where they are. I can't find them, and so it essentially doesn't matter. But yeah, I've done some SAG stuff. It doesn't matter. I'm not a fan of SAG, mostly just because of the way the market is and the way they ask for so much money, but they don't really offer that much in service. If I start doing more stuff like animes and big cartoon shows, then I'll join SAG. But it's not something that, if you're not making money on the free platforms, don't worry about SAG. Just kick that out of your mind. Just know that if you go on voices.com, voice123, and it says SAG, don't audition for that. That's pretty much the only thing. Okay. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to ask. Okay. Put it where those people annoy me. Yeah, good. Yeah, they annoy them too. I just wanted to say that. Just put that out there. I just have to be sure. Yeah. Okay. Additionally, I used a Rode video mic, okay, on a boom arm. I've done that before. More than sufficient for meeting. Oh yeah, totally fine. Especially if you have, okay, so if you have one of those, I don't know if I still have it. If you have one of those video mics that has the, what is it? It's a specific kind of, no, actually, no, I think it should be pretty standard. It's a pretty standard port, actually. I can't find anything for a reference. But, and you plug it into you can literally just plug it right into a laptop, and then it should, if it has the, okay, this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so if it's a laptop or computer that has a designated headphone and designated, what is it? Microphone? I don't know why I blanked on that. Microphone port, then you'd plug it into the microphone. If not, and it has one of those combinations, then you'd need a combination kind of adapter thing where it can be plugged into both and still read as just microphone. I think. I've done that before. That was all I had to say on that. A lot of people struggle with starting out. Everyone struggles with starting out. Those that don't are lying. Any tips on how slow it can... it can be for starters. It varies. It depends on what you do. Okay. And it also depends on what you're searching for, if you're trying. Okay, so if you're trying to get right into animation and video game and cartoon, that's going to take forever. And especially if that's the only thing that you're trying to get into. Like I was like, I want to do animation and anime and cartoon, and I want to work in work for Cartoon Network, Disney, whatever. Then that's going to take probably 1,000 years. If you go into voiceover and basically accept any voiceover work that's coming your way, and you get good at doing all of that, and then slowly but surely build your resume and your demo on animation, and then you start getting more and more work, it might take, I say a healthy goal would be 10 years, but not for like the Cartoon Network or anything like that. Right now, okay, so I've been doing voiceover for maybe, professionally 8 years. I technically started like 13 years ago, but I didn't really take it seriously until I moved to Austin and I needed another source of income. And I was auditioning and doing gigs for, whatever was coming my way. And a lot of that was commercial and radio and narration and voice messaging and stuff like that. Stuff that I don't really do anymore, but I needed it to make the money. But as I was doing those gigs, I was getting better at voiceover in general. And that helped me get better at character and animation. And so I got into that slowly but surely. It was my ultimate goal to be doing this, but at first it was basically impossible and not the roles that I was getting. So I think 5-10 years. It depends on where you start. It depends on where you live, and it depends on what you're going for. It's kind of a tricky one. Email me if you have any specific questions or have any trouble or what. That was kind of a hard one. Howdy, Greg. Greg is someone who I made demos for, and they're turning out really well, and I'm proud of him. He's doing really good. Getting lots of work on Fiverr, so good for him. Let's hope that he has that stuff pulled up on his YouTube channel. If he does, go show him some love. Yep. Cool. I'm still pretty new to VA. Don't have enough jobs for a demo. Okay. Okay, so here is Mope. I'm assuming you said nope, as in you don't have it on your YouTube channel. Put it on your YouTube channel. Put your demos on your YouTube channel. That way, it just spreads out your reach. It's another way of getting seen, another way of getting noticed. Put your thing out. Hello, Funny Guy Timmy from the UK. Well, hello to you. Let's get back to this. Okay. Okay, so you don't have any demos. Okay, my demos, my demo, the things that I send to clients are not, most of them are not. So there's demos and there's demo reels. Demo reels are the things where you make a collage or, a big video of all the work that you've actually done. A demo isn't necessarily actual work. It can be, but that's not what it's for. That's not how it's used. Most demos, even the highest professionals, most demos are fake. Some big-time professional voice actors can literally just make a career off their actual work because they've done this for so long, and they get the same kind of work over and over and over again. People just know who they are. They don't really need to create from scratch a new demo. But a lot of people have fresh, from scratch demos that are completely fabricated, which is totally fine. That's probably what you're gonna have to do for your first demo. You're gonna have to make one. I have some videos on demo. Go to my homepage and then type in the search bar. I think you can do this. Demos, and I should have maybe 7 videos on demos. If that doesn't help, if that's not clear, then you can email me and I can offer any personal advice that I can give. Okay. Let's get here. Okay. How has your progress been in raising your pitch? It's gotten a little better. I've been watching a lot of people talk about this, but it goes back and forth. What's funny is I get a lot of work that comes my way where they want me to do like a princess or they want me to do a teenage girl, and I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? And they're like, oh, don't take it seriously. It's just, you can pitch change it or whatever. Like, we don't care. And I'm like, really? You wouldn't rather just get the teenage girl? That's not easier? So I do get those a little bit. Not as much as I used to, but I have been working on it. I actually have been looking for someone, coach for myself that actually can specialize in that. Because, I mean, if I'm talking about, increasing my range, I mean, geez, could you imagine how helpful that would be? So still working on it. That's the answer to that. I like the NBA 2K terrible voice acting. That video was great. People haven't really been sending too many more videos or references to do another one of those. But if I get enough terrible voiceover videos or suggestions, then I'll do another reaction video. But you can go look for those as well on my page. EDM music. Sorry, is this connected to something? Is this? That's your first comment? The EDM music? Is that your first comment? Is it? I think it is. This is EDM music. Okay. I had nothing to say. I'm more of a classic crooners kind of guy, or an operatic kind of guy. But I mean, I'm not gonna bash anybody on their music. Music is music. Love what you love. I am so sad sometimes because I can't do a Mickey Mouse impression because the pitch is too high. Why would you need to do a Mickey Mouse impression? Why do you need to do a Mickey Mouse impression? Do you need to do that? I mean, why would that make you sad? I mean, if you can't do a Mickey Mouse, then do other ones. I don't do a good Mickey Mouse. Doesn't stop me. There are tons of like high-pitched voices that I can do. I think the reason Mickey Mouse is so difficult is because it's a breathier high-pitched rather than like a nasally high-pitched like SpongeBob. SpongeBob's technically high-pitched, and that was an easier one to do. Mickey Mouse is more high-pitched from here. SpongeBob is high-pitched from here. So that's, but if you can't do it, don't worry about it. Okay. Okay. No. Cool. A sociable little round here. A social little round here. Okay. But it's late over here. Old world mother. Okay. Calling for the night. Well, good night. If you've already left, then you can watch this video later, and I will have said good night. Yeah, it's kind of late here, but it's not that late. And I wish you all the best as well. Stay safe, stay healthy. I have a question for getting up the YouTubes on their interwebs. What? I have questions for setting up the YouTubes on the... Oh, you're being facetious. Okay. There's a lot that goes into tagging and such. We can talk about... Okay. As far as putting your stuff on YouTube, mostly it's just another place that you can... Okay, so let's say someone emails you, or someone texts you, or someone's Facebooking you, or whatever, and they want to see your demo. Well, not all these platforms can you send, the full file. So what's easier is to have it on YouTube as public, where you can literally just go copy the link and then paste it in an email, a text, Facebook message, tweet, whatever. That's really the point of having a demo on YouTube. That's really where it's going to benefit you. As far as like tags and stuff like that, don't worry too much about that. Just put in anything that comes to your mind. Voiceover, voice acting, voiceover artist, demo, voiceover demo, just that kind of stuff. And then in the description, in the details, don't put too much. Really just put your contact information. If it's a specific Fiverr one, then obviously put your link to Fiverr. But overall, put your email, your, whatever contact information you use. That's how you'd set that up. And then in the title, you would really just put your name, voiceover demo reel, and I would say put the year. Some people say don't put the year because, if it's still good and it's kind of got an old date. But I'm like, well, who cares? If you do multiple, then, it'll show that you've improved. It'll show how many demos that you've done. But whatever, that's the basics. Question. Okay. I'm looking to get into voiceover, and I'm wondering if it's worth buying a bundle? Oh, okay. Interface mic, headphones / cans, studio monitor. I would say, well, it depends on what bundle. I think it depends on what bundle. It's not important to buy a full bundle. Okay, so there's a Scarlett Solo bundle that has a mic, headphones, an interface, cable, and I think pop filter, and shock mount and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't come with a stand, but it comes with pretty much everything else. That one's a good one. There might be a few here and there, but overall, that one's probably a good one. I haven't heard any complaints. I know a couple people that have started out their career with that. It's probably a good choice. And I think an easier route would to be get, a good USB mic, like the Audio-Technica 2020 USB, and then just get the headphones, pop filter, and stand. It might be cheaper. I don't know. And you'd still get basically the same level of quality. I don't know. But yes, it would be worth it. But you need to spend more money on treatment. You need to spend way more money on treatment. Basically, twice as much as you spend on the microphone and the interface, you need to spend on treating the space. It's a good rule of thumbs. So if the, now that doesn't mean, buy a $50 microphone. It's like, oh, I only need to buy $100 worth of treatment. Not necessarily. But if, you buy the interface and the microphone, it's like $100, $200. Imagine you're going to be spending, twice as much properly treating the space. Now, that may not mean all at once. That could just be over time. But the more expensive the microphone and the interface, the more sensitive the mic is, and the more you're going to have to treat the space. That's kind of where the rule of thumbs comes from. Just be wary. For all the boys and girls, of course, LOL, gotcha. Mickey Mouse voice. Mickey Mouse. YouTube is super confusing. It's a little confusing. To set up. Yeah. Just email me. I'll help you out. Just email me. Do you prefer live acting or voice acting? Because I'm on the fence. I was in the living live voice actor, but I have stage fright. Wow, that is You have stage fright where, but in voiceover you don't, or voiceover you do as well. Okay, so if you have stage fright, that's gotta go. That's gotta go. The best way to get rid of stage fright is to keep putting yourself on stage. And that can be in voiceover, not voiceover, improv or comedy. One of the things that helped me in acting was improv and stand-up comedy. And that's the same as voice acting. So just keep putting yourself out there, keep putting yourself in front of projects, you know, keep doing auditions. The more you do this stuff, the less it's going to bother you. It's just, the reason stage fright is because it's a strange setting. It's strangers, and your body and your mind are in a place that you don't have any standard course of action for. So when we do stuff like going to the store, walking around our house, a lot of this is muscle memory. You know, if there's a fire, we know where to exit. We know where the fire extinguisher is. If, you know, we check make sure the doors are locked, all this kind of stuff. That's part of, you know, self-preservation. When you're on a stage, you know, it's new, just, I mean, general, anytime you're in any kind of new situation, you're gonna have that kind of stage fright, and that's really just your body going, all right, where is everything? Where are the threats? What's going on? How do I get out of here if I need to get out of here? That's what all that is. The more you do that, the more you get used to it, the less it's going to bother you. So that's the easiest way to get past that. Second part of your question, which do I prefer? I prefer both for different reasons. Voice acting, I get to do roles that no one would look at me and cast me for. I am 5'4", chunky build, and I would always play the sidekick, the comical relief, or possibly a goofy villain. I would never play hero, love interest. No one's ever cast me as that. I normally get cast to do a lot of comedies. But in voice acting, I get cast to do a lot of serious male leads. I get to do a lot of serious, you know, characters, do a lot of serious roles that if it was put on screen, I wouldn't be the guy they'd pick. So that's one of the reasons that I really like it, but they are very different. I just like acting in general. When I act behind the microphone, I do a lot of the same mannerisms and a lot of the same stuff that I would if I was in front of the camera. The only difference is I'm not being too active because I'm trying to stay on axis, on point with the microphone. So that's really the only difference. And I'm in my pajamas normally. What do you recommend for scheduling voiceover? Like, look. What do you recommend for scheduling voiceover? Oh, I read that right. Okay. Like orders on Fiverr. I know some big sellers do a morning session and a night session. Oh, as far as like keeping it organized. Okay. Wow. It's kind of a tricky one. For Fiverr, this is probably an easier one to answer. Just generally Fiverr. First thing I do when I get up is I check my messages. And that's before I've taken a shower. That's before I've brushed my teeth. That's before I've had breakfast. I check my messages just to see what is immediate. And, you know, pull out my computer and I open up all the tabs that are the ones that I need to get done today. If it's something that I need to get done over time, or if it's something that I need to get done by the end of this week or by a certain point, I will actually take like I don't have time to do it today, but I need to remember to do it tomorrow. I will take the script, normally as a PDF or a Word document, and put that on my desktop, right in the center of my desktop. My desktop is actually very organized, and so I only have folders in corners, like a few folders, a few items in corners. So the main center of my desktop is empty, so I can put things that need to be done. And actually, yesterday, I actually just cleared everything that was off my desktop because I'd just gotten all that done. But that's probably the easiest way. if you go back to what I was talking about earlier, the app, the phone app for Fiverr helps a lot because you're constantly reminded when something is, when an order's been placed, when a message has been sent, and if you have 12 hours left to deliver the order, which normally it doesn't get to that point with me. I do set 3 days as the standard, just because, if I get super swamped, most orders I can still get done within 3 days. Like, even if I get like absolutely beaten with orders, I can still get most of them done in 3 days. Some of them I rarely ever have to ask for an extension. And I'm rarely ever late. Sometimes it's like, a couple hours before the 3 days, and sometimes it's like the day of. It just depends. Okay. I mean, scheduling your workload. Yeah. If that didn't answer your question, leave that down in the comment section. Just started out. Yeah. Tons of videos from using your closet all the way up to building your own room. Yeah. Which I really want to build my own space now. That's my next goal. Okay. Okay, I don't in VA, as in I don't have stage fright. Good. Because I know some people have trouble the second they hit record, they just kind of freeze up. And that's like a completely different, it's like the opposite as, stage fright. Like, they're good in front of people, but the second they hit record, they just start to like crap out. Voice getting dry. Okay. Aside from using a coach, what's the fastest way to of improving? Repetition, which I mean may sound like a duh statement, but most of my so I started out in acting, and I started out in comedy and stuff like that, so I was very familiar with being active and being portraying characters. But then started doing voiceover, and it was a little rough because it was hard for me to interpret what it was that the director or the writer intended. So a lot of that has just come from me just having done it so many times now. I've done so many similar projects to these ones that I have a good idea what it is that I need to do in order to get this done. So a lot of it's just going to come from practice. So a lot of slogging through really bad roles or really terrible auditions in order to get better. Okay. Is that attention noobs? Me too. Okay. I spent nearly 6 months researching what I needed to do and equipment. Okay. Keep doing research. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Never stop looking up information. Never stop researching. Never stop asking. Always keep going. Even I still watch, videos on what it is I need to do and stuff that I can improve and stuff like that. No matter how high up you'll go, you're always going to see something new. Okay. What helped me was just to practice. Practice makes perfect. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a response to that. Yeah, same thing. Exactly. Okay. I know and everything. Okay, so he's responding to him. Good. Got some healthy back and forth. Please touch on new VOs who wanted to work for free, why they shouldn't, and why it hurts VO in the entirety. Okay, well, that one's a tricky one because okay, so the question comes down on that one, and I actually had a video on this earlier. The question is, if you have absolutely no skills in voiceover, what are those skills worth? And that is the hardest question to answer. It's not easy to look at someone who's never done this before and go, oh yeah, hundreds of dollars. So people look at voiceover as a collective industry. And that's true, but it's also not honest. Every voice actor charges differently, even in the industry, even when it comes to SAG, even when it comes to the big guys, even when it comes to, professionals who are, been doing it for the same number of years. Everyone charges different things for different reasons, different rates. I would say that. So I have a video on talking about burner projects. What I mean by burner projects is when you're new to something, you're going to go in and you're going to basically do a throwaway project just to, just to get more familiar with it. And I don't mean that you're going to take a financial hit, but you might not make profit. So I did some burner projects when it came to audiobook, just to see if audiobook was something that I would enjoy. And I set my rates kind of low because I had no idea if I was even going to be good at this. I'm serious dyslexia, so long form narration is tricky for me. Doing character scripts is totally fine, but long form narration is very tricky. And so I accepted 2 projects, and I didn't make any money off them because I accepted the royalty, exchange. One of them, I think I got paid a little bit up front and then also had the royalty. The royalty was the majority of it, but I've collected no money off these things. And I accepted those as burner projects. They were just ones that, I know that, I did terribly because I was new to it. But I shouldn't feel too bad because I didn't charge a lot. Now, I don't want people to go into this with that goal in mind. I feel like everyone should set some sort of price, and that's going to vary on person. That's going to depend on person. I don't think anyone should work for free, especially with the goal of working for free, or advertise that you work for free, or look for roles that are free. But everyone's going to vary in prices, and some people's, starting out rates, your rates are always going to move forward. Your rates are always going to be climbing. But everyone's rates are going to be differently. I do a few free projects every now and then. Every now and then someone will email me or send me a message on Facebook, and they're like, hey, I love you, Christopher Walken. I love your Donald Trump or whatever. Can you just do the short message, do like a little birthday message or something like that, or a little answering machine thing? And I'll be like, yeah, sure. And they're like, how much? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Because I had nothing else going on or nothing else taxing to do that day. And, it was really, really short. I just did it real quick. No problem. Sent it to them. Totally fine. I don't think doing an occasion. I actually did something for free for a friend recently, something on Facebook that I actually used for kind of like the beginning of like a Instagram video series that they're doing. And it was just me doing like this kind of announcer voice. And so I just did that for them. I didn't charge them, nothing. There's someone that I know. I did it for free. Doing free projects isn't bad, but don't go into it with the mindset of doing free projects. Don't go into it with the idea, if I don't charge anything, I'll get tons of work. No, it's not called work if it's free. You'll get tons of experience, but not charging anything means that you're not going to have the kind of experience and work with the kind of clients that you really, really need to. So if you don't know what to charge, contact me, send me your demo. I'll help you out. It also kind of depends on what platform you're working on. It's a tricky one, but it's right there. Why was this redacted? Oh, retracted. All right, well, it's retracted. Sure. Thanks for the answer. My pleasure. Do you offer any voiceover coaching? Oh, so sorry that I got to this so late. Yes, I do. Go to, if you email me at FunnyGuyTimmy@gmail.com. That's the email that I'm using for voiceover coaching as of right now. I'm getting actually a lot of people messaging me lately, some that I still need to reply to. for voiceover coaching. And so normally what I'll do is if you come to me for coaching, first thing we'll do, no charge, is we'll do an email back and forth to try to understand what your situation is, what you already have, what you don't have, what your questions are, what your goals are, and all this kind of stuff. And then from there, we'll evaluate whether or not you actually need, coaching as of right now, or if you need to tackle certain things first. And then after that, then we'll talk about coaching and stuff like that. But normally emails are, totally fine. You totally email me. Don't expect an immediate response. That I can say. Sometimes it may take me a week to get back. I do try to respond as often as possible. I try to respond to every single one of them. I don't think there's any that I've missed so far. I'll respond, but may not always immediately, just because I get so many emails and messages in a day. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, but is that it? Is that it what? Wait. Oh, for your previous message. I know, and I have to just practice, otherwise, is so widespread that I wonder practicing which skill is most useful. Getting comfortable. Getting comfortable is most useful. Getting comfortable and or light on your feet. Improv is the most useful thing. That's most useful in acting. It's most useful in voice acting. It's most useful in, all kinds of stuff. You don't want to ever get into a single mindset kind of thing. Anytime a client comes to you, you're just locked into the same routine. You deliver lines the same way. You communicate with them the same way. You want to be light on your feet. You want to treat everybody individually. You want to be able to, do improv. So every time you record a line and you do multiple takes, a lot of clients love multiple takes. It's so good. They love it because it means that there's less of a chance that they'll have to do revisions. Gives them more options. Not too many. I leave it to 3 or 4. But every single time you do another take on the same line, you have to do it differently. Not so differently that it doesn't match the script, but differently enough that it is another option. Whether it's going high on a different point, going low on a different point, changing speed, changing intensity with the exact same emotion. So improv is the most valuable skill. So I would say look for an improv group, get involved, do that. Hope that answered the question in entirety. Okay. Anytime I try to do a voice, I can always hear my natural voice coming through it. Just how it works. Is it just how it works? Do you still hear your voice when you do character? I don't anymore. And that's just because of practice, I've developed my range. Okay, go look at my impression videos. These are prime examples. And I would normally not recommend anyone look at my first videos that I've ever done on this YouTube channel. But if you watch my original YouTube cringe videos, my original impression videos, and then compare those to now, to the most recent videos that I've done with impressions, you will see that they've changed. You will see that they've gotten better. And I had the exact same problem everyone does of hearing yourself in these voices. And what it is okay, so your throat, your vocal cords, everything muscle related. That's how you make sounds. And just like an athlete, like a baseball player who has a muscle memory of throwing, certain, curveball, slider, whatever. You develop those skills. They get better. And you get so good that you can do it precisely and then change it up and do something that's radically different, but do that precisely over and over and over again. It's the same thing with the vocal cord. It's the same thing with doing character voices. So there's a lot of character voices that I've done a lot. There's kind of an old man voice. It's kind of like this. Yes, I do it a lot for crazy scientists or wizards. Yes, friendly wizards. There's also Character that's been, I guess, known as Mama Ling, which is just kind of this like
Sweet old little Asian lady. Yes, of course. Yes.
I actually do a lot of those kind of voices for a cartoon show. And those are voices that I've used on other things, but now I do them so much that they're easy for me to just get into and stay. And they sound nothing like me. And that's just the kind of thing that it just comes with repetition. It just comes with practice. The more you do that voice, the better you're going to get at it, and the more you're going to be able to hold it there. Because that's the hard part, is holding it there, is getting all the way and holding it there. I'd say definitely start with the most radical voices, the hardest ones to do, and the ones that sound the least like you. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a good example. And then try to do that for an entire day. That is what I would suggest doing. And then finding another impression that's kind of like that, sounds nothing like you, and trying to do that pretty much the entire day. Now, I don't mean every time you talk to your parents, every time you talk to friends, just anytime you're just goofing around, by yourself, or you're just, telling a joke. Do that as much as possible. And what it does is it actually stretches out your walls of range. It'll start to make your range more flexible. That's what I suggest. Okay. Hey, man, I am getting behind on these. Hi, and hi. Oh, Chucky E-Boy Cheese. Aight. Okay. Aight. Can you do a Chuck E. Cheese or Mickey Mouse? No. I don't know what Chuck E. Cheese sounds like. He's been done so differently over the years. Mickey Mouse has been pretty consistent, but Chuck E. Cheese has changed. It's way different than what I remember when I was a kid. So I don't know. I would just end up just doing like a Freddy Fazbear. Okay. You have a good way to put soundproofing. You have a good way of putting soundproofing on concrete? ? Okay. My suggestion would be to put drywall on there first. To put drywall over the concrete. Concrete is very reflective. It is a hard metal, or not a hard metal, but a hard material with no give, so sound bounces sharply off of it. So you're going to want something that has more of a cushion, or a little bit more of like a lighter material, like drywall, over that, so that it kind of absorbs some of the sound, and then you'll put a layer of foam over that. So I think the easiest way would be concrete screws. You need a good drill for that. But again, it depends on whether or not you're in an apartment or it's your own home. If it's your own home, drywoods or concrete screws. If you don't know how to do that kind of stuff, everyone knows at least one friend that does. That's what I'd suggest. Now, if it's floor, then it's just layers of carpet. First, I'd put a layer of rubber, big piece of rubber on the concrete floor, and then I would put a very thick, heavy blanket or carpet over that. And then for the ceiling, it's the same thing as the walls. That's really the only way. You got to cover up that concrete. You got to get rid of it. It's not going to do you any good. You got to get rid of it. You can't just put foam panels over, or foam wedges over it, acoustic wedges. You got to cover it up with something. Okay. Working with a landlord to set up a studio, trying to cordon off non-dampening. Okay. You could. Okay, so my second suggestion for that would be to do the carpet thing, but also do the carpet thing on the walls, but you'd need a lighter carpet or sound blankets, and then you'd probably use a very strong but easily removable adhesive if the landlord doesn't want you to right into the wall. But then I would suggest building a tent in the center of the room. So after you've covered those up with some kind of fabric or absorbing material, then I would still build a tent or a box in the middle of the room. Those are the two best ways. I don't know what those are. Okay, I started out in voiceover doing it for free, but that was for student projects and gain experience. Okay, yeah. I was using their equipment and studio, and I had no outlay. Okay. Okay. Yeah, if it's for student projects, if you're a student there and you get credits and you're part of the class, then yeah, I mean, doing it for free is fine. One thing I don't like is that apparently there's a lot of animation or video game companies that are coming to colleges and basically, offering the college money, but not paying the students. So students don't get anything other than experience or credits. That I don't like. But if it's okay, so I have a thing where if it's a student project, I definitely don't charge commercial, rates. I just charge by word. That's it. I still charge them, but I charge them by word. I would say still, if you're doing voiceover for a living and a student comes and is like, hey, it's a student project, still charge them. It just don't charge them as much as you would for, studio projects, but still charge them. Come on. This is going to their future as well. Not that I'm saying be mean to students, but if you don't charge students, you're gonna get a lot of students coming to you, and you're gonna be bogged down with work that you're not getting paid for, and then you're not gonna have time for the projects that you are getting paid for. Okay. Okay. How long did it take you to start earning reliably on Fiverr? Okay, so start earning reliable income on Fiverr. I can actually look this up. What was the first month? There was a huge. It was the month that I. Where is it? It was the month that I posted my Donald Trump on Fiverr. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I wish I could see my screen. I'm not going to share it with you. So I started actually earning a good amount on Fiverr. Not a lot. Not as much as I do. I know I earn like 2, maybe 3 times as much as I do. But, okay. So in 2017, January, I made $32 on Fiverr. Very, very slow. February, when I posted my Donald Trump, I made $1,460 and $90 in tips. That's when it started. I had been on Fiverr since 2013, maybe? 2012, 2013, something like that. And I think, maybe it hasn't been that long, but I was on there for a while. I can't search any further back than 2017. But I was on there for a while, and most I was just doing really, really small stuff. And I wasn't taking it seriously. I was just doing birthday greetings, phone messaging, nothing serious on Fiverr. And, I was just making a little bit of pocket change, just enough that I could buy groceries, during the time that I was getting like absolutely hammered. And, because I moved to Austin and I wasn't making a lot of money. I was having to, do stand-up on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, so that I could make like $100 extra a week. And then I would also do Fiverr, which I was making like, I don't know, like anywhere between $20 and $100 a month. So enough for like groceries. And then I had a day job at the exact same time that I was working 6 days out of the week. So I was getting murdered. I was getting absolutely hammered. And it wasn't until I posted the Donald Trump thing and Fiverr had changed its thing where you could charge more than $5. Then I started taking it seriously, and it's basically been serious since then. Okay. All right. What's next? How do I manage my voiceover files for Fiverr? Do you delete them after delivery? No, absolutely not. And just rely on Fiverr to start? Absolutely not. I don't rely on Fiverr at all. So I have in Dropbox, I have a folder called voiceover. And then in voiceover, I have emails. I have an email folder. So anytime a client contacts me through email, that's all the information, all the files go in there. Facebook, I have one for Facebook. All the stuff for Facebook goes in there. Casting Call Club, everything goes in there. Voices.com, Fiverr, and then like one other. I don't know the other one off the top of my head. And then in Fiverr, I have all of the files. Now, every new year, by February, come February, I take everything that's from the previous year and I put it onto a drive and then put that away. And the reason I do that is because every now and then a client will come to me and goes, "Hey, do you remember me, contacting you 2 years ago? We need you to do this voice again." And I need to go find it. If it's within a year, I can easily backtrack in Google Docs, absolutely, or Dropbox. But if it's further than that, I have it stored in backlog. After a while, I will delete some of these. Some of them are, not all that good. But there are some in there that I actually can use for my demos later on. And there are some that are important to clients that I do intend on using. If the client comes back to me, I need to match the voice. Despite the fact that my setup has changed up wildly, I can at least try and match the voice. So there's that. I keep those and I have it on Dropbox, so it's easy and at my fingertips. I keep mine on hard. Yep. But Fiverr saved all the stuff too. I would definitely suggest that you get a Dropbox or Google Drive so that when you're on the road you can email people from your phone. Like if a client's like, "Hey, I didn't get the thing from last time. It didn't come in clearly." You can just on an email send it. Whatever. It makes it so much easier. Nice, me too. Have you ever worked with Jello Apocalypse? Let me look that up real quick. Jello Apocalypse. Sounds familiar. Oh, no. The people who do, so this is basically. No, I have not. I love their stuff. I would love to. I would also love to do How It Should Have Ended. But again, do not bug people about being on their show. If they like you, if they want you on there, if there's a particular voice that they're looking for and you're that guy, they will contact you. If not, totally fine. There's so many other people on YouTube doing similar things. My voice is far from special. That said, I've never worked for free. First job was only $10 for 3 lines and just one take, no retakes. Okay. My second job was for $300 to read a complete letter. A complete letters? You don't need to work for free. Yeah, nobody needs to work for free. Complete letters. I don't know what that means. I hope he's still there. Hope you reply. I would like some more information on that. I agree. Cool. Like the carpet idea. Good. All those materials. Got all those materials. Thanks. Okay, cool. Answer that one. Good. How do you get started on Fiverr? Build a profile. Have demos ready. Have good demos ready. and don't just put one thing on there. I actually have a video. What is it called? Oh God. It should be. That's not how Fiverr searches work. There's a video called "That is not how Fiverr searches work," and basically it's me explaining, how to use Fiverr effectively. There's a lot of people that start using Fiverr and then stop because they think that it's not effective. There we go. Let me try to copy and paste this. Boop. That it's not effective or it's not easy to use, when in fact it really all comes down to the fact that most people don't know how to use Fiverr correctly. And the point is to not just put, I do voiceover. That will get you no one. Because voiceover is not specific enough. You have to break it down into more specific things. And you have to have multiple demos, multiple gigs on Fiverr. That's the easiest way. You got to have catchy visuals and you got to have a good demo. Good demo is probably 50% of it. But then you also have to make sure you have gigs that are specific and, break it down so that you spread out a little bit more evenly and you show up on more search terms and search engines or searches. I would recommend watching a ton of YouTube video tutorials. Yep. Oops. Sorry, caps. That's why we were wrong to Fiverr. Most do the wrong way. Yeah, most do the wrong way. LOL. Most people absolutely do the wrong way. Your gig should be completely filled out, tags, wording, etc. Yeah. Just because a level 1 just became a level 1. Again, lots of it first time cuz my day job. Okay. Yeah. Just keep at it. If you don't have enough time to accomplish a lot of these orders, just make the day the time of estimated delivery a little bit longer. Add an extra day to it if you need it. And if you get them done early, good. If you don't worry about it. Not complete letter. Oh, a couple letter. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was probably my dyslexia, not you, by the way. A couple letters. Okay. Thanks. My pleasure. Hello, Tim. Who is this? Well, you know what? I'm going to look you up. What are you all about? Whoop. Boop. No, not there. I have to click so many times just to get to the YouTube front page. There you are. Okay. Was all this on Fiverr? I guess that'd be my next question for original Big Rob. Was all this on Fiverr? Hello, Tim. Hello there. Claxy? I hope that's right. Most important, do the work, don't get lazy. Yeah, but that's not just voiceover. That's everything. That's life. That's a life advice right there. Okay, so yep, been doing this for about an hour and a half, which is normally the standard for these. Sorry for that. I was 15 minutes late on the projection. Hopefully I can get my computer upgraded to where I can do this. I don't have to have some weird phone setup that I can actually do this right off the computer. And that hopefully will make it a little bit easier. But I was about to upgrade the computer. And then all this virus thing happened, and I wasn't able to take it into Best Buy for them to actually install the new CPU and motherboard. So, I might be doing it myself. I might not. I don't know. But, okay. A few more videos. Not on Fiverr. I started out on Upwork Back when you could get work. Well said, sir. Well said. Yeah. Upwork used to be. Upwork basically was trying to present itself like the competitor to Fiverr, and like most other competitors to Fiverr, literally got kicked in the penis. Fiverr, I mean, Upwork is really just. It felt more like Craigslist more than anything, and I was like, well, then I'll just use Craigslist. I'm like, why use Upwork? Whatever. But yeah, that's it. Not a fan of Upwork. I don't have an Upwork. I haven't really used it. I was wondering what would be your best recommendation for a VO mic that is $50. My parents think it's too expensive for a decent mic like the Samson CO1U Pro. They think that's too expensive? Really? There aren't many good voiceover mics at $50. I'm going to say that right now. There are not many good voiceover mics for $50. I've been on the hunt for some. I've reviewed a few, but none that I would say, yeah, you can start a career with this. The best microphones that are $50 that you could start a career with need an interface. And with that, you'll need the shock mount and the pop filter and the stand, and you'll still need the treatment on the walls. You can't do anything with $50. You can't. You can't start a career. You can't get a good enough microphone that will make you money for $50. Some people can, but like there's some people that have like the headset mic that are doing like they're more like they're doing like little bits for like Twitch streamers, because that's fine. I mean, Twitch doesn't give you the highest quality audio anyway. But you're going to need more than $50. I mean, I could suggest a mic, but you'd still need the treatment, and you'd still need the shock mount. You'd still need all that. So have your grandparents come talk to me. I don't know what to tell you. It's very hard. The CO1U Pro is a good one. Is a good microphone. It's a good all-in-one. I think the best you could do would be the Samson Go mic, but I have a couple videos on that thing. It is so, it's not worth it. Samson Go mic is okay, but it's not a career mic. You could start with it, but it's incredibly sensitive and it's harsh on plosives. So you'd have to buy extra stuff to make the Samson Go mic work. But it is less than $40. And it's a USB mic. You can plug in. You can put in your headphones. So maybe, I guess. I don't know. Hard to say. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I am the guy who bought the Samson Go mic and saw your video. Oh, cool. Samson Go mic. Okay, cool. Like what? Well, I bought this too soon. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Okay. So there's a common misconception about my reviews on microphones. So people are asking me, a professional voice actor, what do I think of this microphone as a professional voiceover mic? And so I give my opinion on an item as a professional voiceover microphone. And I even have a video talking about, my ratings and what I look for and all this kind of stuff. Nobody's watched that video. People think that I just shit on mics. There are a few mics that I really, really don't like, but more than anything, I'm just reviewing it as a voiceover artist. The idea is, would I use this to do work. And the general gist is, I would not. And if you can save up more to get just slightly better, and I try to recommend other microphones, then, that should be your goal. Your goal shouldn't be to get the cheapest first thing that you find. Your goal should be to do a little bit more research. This is why I don't like the mic. This is why I wouldn't say get it. But like anything else, find other professional voice actors who do microphone reviews, like Mike Delgadio, or there's a couple of other guys, I can't think of them right now. If they cover the exact same mic, listen to their opinion as well. If there is different than mine, maybe there's something there. Maybe it should be rethought about. But that's really the whole point. You have the same headphones? Oh, cool. Good. They're very comfy. Definitely get the custom cushion. I bought a cheap pop filter for the Go mic. Pop filters, cheap is fine. I don't think I've ever found, no matter how cheap the pop filter is, a pop filter that absolutely doesn't work. Every pop filter, no matter how cheap it is, still works. So even if it's not perfect, it can still essentially do the same job. You just might need to put it in a different spot, or you might just need to be a little more careful with it, or maybe it's going to break soon or something like that. But pop filters, that's one of the things you can cut corners and, go cheap on. Not too cheap, but cheap. At what stage did you get a voiceover coach? My first voiceover coach was Bill DeWeese, and I got a voiceover coach. I think I talked to him before 2017, so I think it was like 2014, maybe. I don't remember. I know that I had been emailing people back and forth, but when I finally decided to put down money to talk to Bill DeWeese, and I learned a lot from my first session with Bill DeWeese. My first coaching with him was when I was starting to think about taking voiceover seriously because I needed the money. And, it was just one of those investments that I had to make. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I actually did put in the money to get Bill DeWeese, as a coach, and talk to him, and then take my voiceover seriously, because now I'm making far more than however much it cost at the time to get him to coach me. What do you think they add to your real style and performance outcome? So I wanted to. So the reason I went to Bill DeWeese, which is probably going to answer that half of the question. The reason I went to Bill DeWeese was, I was getting a lot of work for doing like commercial narration, and I'm not good at commercial narration. I suck at commercial narration, and I wanted to get better. So I went to him to help me get better, because that was a lot of the work that was available and a lot of the work that I could do because I needed the money. And he actually did help me think of it differently, because I'm an actor, I'm a voice, I'm a impressionist, I'm a comedian. So I was looking at it from those kind of standpoints. I was looking at it from like an acting, from a thespian kind of way. And he brought me back down as like, think of it more of like a down to earth kind of, casual, friendly read. And like that. That's what he helped me do. Any good recommendation for an entry-level interface? Where is it? I still have it in here. Nope, don't fall over. Put it in here. Damn it. I do. I just don't know where it is right now. It is I'm trying to remember what it is. It's a Behringer Euphoria CM22. I have a video on it. I actually have a video on it. I don't remember what to look up though. But I do have a video on it. It's a small single channel interface. And actually, I think I might have sold it. I hope I didn't. I really like that thing. It was like a nice little backup. But it was a surprisingly good, inexpensive interface that got good, clean signal, had no compression, none of that, just one channel, and worked out really good. I don't remember what it is, but you can probably find it if you look through my microphone or tech reviews. If you go to one of those playlists, it'll be in there. All right. Okay, nobody gets a Blue Yeti. It's okay. Nobody get a Blue Yeti. It's better. Oh, okay, it's better to get an interface and yes, it is. It's always better to get that combination. I kind of don't want to go too far into detail on that, but yes, that's true. What's your opinion on soundproofing? Soundproofing or sound treatment? These are two completely different things. Soundproofing is the hardest one to do. That's where you're blocking out all sound from the outside. And then there's sound treatment, which is where you're preventing from reverb, which is like putting up foam on the back wall and stuff like that. I recommend sound blankets for a layer of sound proofing. And then on top of that, which is what I have in my voiceover space, and then on top of that is foam panels to prevent from reverb. But not just use one kind of panel like these ones, use a variety. And so I'll have, obviously, corner wedges for bass traps. I have top corner cubes that are to prevent like very heavy bass in the top corners. And then I have those size depth bass acoustic panels. And then I have ones that are deeper. And so basically the general thumb is the deeper the wedge, the deeper the triangle in the thing, the deeper the frequency. So if you're just trying to get rid of that loud clapping and snapping, you'd get like the ones that have like, that are a little bit more, have more triangles on them, I guess. And then the ones for like the deeper ones are normally gonna have like 3 triangles and they're gonna be really deep. That's for the deeper tones. So put a variety in there and try to do both. That's who taught me too. Cheers. Yep. Good guy. He's a great guy. Oh, and is 65 dB. Oh, pound. 65 pound moving blankets enough to put on a 2020. Enough, as in enough to do what? Enough to completely prevent all outside noise from getting in and all inside noise from getting out. You'll need multiple layers, but yes. Like you're going to need, like it depends on how many that comes with and how much of a space you're trying to fill. But I mean, if you put enough of those sound blankets on the walls and on the ceiling and enough on the ground, yes, it will absolutely prevent it. But there is a point in which you'll have put so many sound blankets on there, it wasn't worth it. They're going to start, it's just going to be too heavy and it's going to fall off. So it really just depends. Thank you for your thoughts, explanation, answers my question. Fully just subscribe. Well, cool. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed this. Damn, brother, you look tired. I am. I actually am. I'm very tired. I'm exhausted. It's been a very busy past couple of weeks, which I kind of go over in the beginning of this. I don't want to go over it again. But client difficulties. Let's put it that way. What microphone are you using there? It is the Audio-Technica 87.5R. You know what's really fun is I really should just have, if I know I'm going to be doing a live stream, I need to just have this microphone just put into the description because everybody loves the sound of this microphone. Okay, so of all the microphones that I've used, nobody has asked more, talked more about, or liked this microphone any microphone more than this one. This is the Audio-Technica 87.5R. And I have two of them because one is for me, one is for my brother. When we do the Let's Plays or if I do podcasts, one of them I bring on the road with me. But these are really good microphones. They're a little bassy. They're a little heavier in the low tone, which is why on the mixer I actually have the low part kind of turned down a little bit, which is why it might sound a little bit cleaner, a little bit crisper than it actually would. Okay. And by the way, yes, I do know who you are. I do recognize that name. Okay. Oh, sound treatment. Yes, sound treatment. I guess I meant sound treatment. Yep. A lot of people get those two confused. It's totally fine. Beginners to voiceover, always getting those two confused. It's a common thing. I even said soundproofing when I started out, and it wasn't till I talked to somebody about, helping me build my first, space. They're like, oh, you mean sound treatment? Because I was like asking back and forth, and they're like, what are you talking about? So, yeah, there's soundproofing, there's sound treatment. So that might, okay, so I get the feeling there's a lot of people who search for stuff on YouTube for voiceover and get frustrated and confused. And I think that's part of it, is not knowing the terms and not knowing what they're searching. They're like, oh, I was looking for soundproofing when they mean treatment. And it's like, I didn't find videos that help me out. That might be why. Yeah, I have a couple videos on sound treatment. In fact, I have a whole video, which is a feature-length video. It is like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that, on me building that voiceover space. And I use sound blankets and I use acoustic panels. Go watch that. That may help you. Okay. Can enough, or do I need studio monitors? Are cans enough? Gotcha. Well, I am of the impression that studio headphones are beneficial and good for voiceover, and that wearing them while recording helps you out a lot. There is a huge back and forth on this kind of, okay, so the back and forth on wear cans or not wear cans is, I would say, similar to whether or not The Last Jedi is a good movie. It's very similar in how heated people get and the detail in which people will go into vindicating their statements. I don't think that if you're just starting out, you should get studio monitors. It's way more complicated. You have to have, in order to get an accurate representation, you have to put them in the right spot. You have to have, acoustic paneling in the right spot in relation to the speakers. You have to put the desk in the right spot of the room. There's a lot more work to it. You also have to make sure that you have good studio monitors, because if they're cheap, then it's not going to help you. You're not going to get an accurate representation of all the elements of what you're editing. And then you also have to make sure, if they're really good ones, you have to make sure that your mixer or interface can provide enough power. So it's way more complicated. Getting headphones is way easier. Definitely wear headphones when editing. That is something that most of us can agree on. Headphones when editing, because you need to hear all the mouth noise. You need to hear all the all this back and forth. You need to hear if there's background noise that you couldn't hear, because sometimes you can't hear that on the speakers. I wear headphones while recording. Sometimes I'll do this. I wear headphones while recording because I like to do my editing before I hit record and before I hit stop. And what I mean by that is, if I know that I've messed up with mouth noise or stomach rumbling or, low bassy background noise, I can hear what this microphone is picking up. And this microphone is way more sensitive than my ears. And so sometimes there's mouth noise. If I'm not wearing the headphones, I can't hear them. And so wearing headphones lets me know I need to redo that take. I need to do another take. If I wasn't wearing them, I wouldn't know to do that. And so I snap, I do another take. And I actually did this I mentioned this whole thing in the earlier part of this live stream. It's totally fine. What I used to do when I wasn't wearing headphones is I would record the whole thing, not be listening to it, and then I'd go back in and I would be listening back over it, and I would hear, oh, I need to redo this take, redo this, redo this, and I would go back in, I'd redo it, and then I would try to Franken-stitch all this stuff in, and it added time, made things more complicated, and decreased the quality. But if I'm listening to myself and I know that I've made a mistake in that moment, I can do a retake in that moment, and I only have to hit record and stop once. That's why I suggest wearing headphones, and I say headphones are good. Oh, and I didn't know that guy asked you about the soundproofing. Oh, yeah. Soundproofing, sound treatment. Yeah. Okay, good. Says he loves the Audio-Technica 87.5R. A lot of people do. I need to do another video on this microphone, I guess. So many people love this damn thing. This is off topic, but what cushions do you use? Oh, I think they're called Brainwave. Let's see. They're gonna be the ones that have the felt on the inside and the kind of pleather or leather on the outside. But I think they're Brainwave. It's been a while since I've ordered them. But those are the ones I use, and I have them on my spares as well. The backup headphones. These are actually, so the ones that are on this one are actually kind of ripped up, kind of shredded. Can't see that. Oh, there you go. It's kind of ripped up because these are the ones that used to be on these headphones. But since it's the backup pair, it gets the backup foam. Anyway, and the reason that I have to have, all right, fine, just sit comfortably somehow. The reason I have to have these on is because my ears are shaped weird. And if I don't have that extra space between the speakers and my ears, I can't wear headphones for too long. And sometimes I need to be recording for an hour. So like this, or way more than an hour. Okay. I'm going to have to call it quits in a few minutes. So I'm going to try to rush through the last of these questions. Okay. Thought of the Lewitt LCT Pro? Yes, and I have contacted them, and they have graciously replied. They said at this point in time, I think it was like 2 months ago when I messaged them, they said they were not doing any more video reviews. We're not seeking any more video reviews. So they didn't have any more demos or test microphones or any kind of deal to make with that kind of thing. So they said, but to contact me maybe later this year. That's fine. Don't be too hard on the Blue Yeti. That's what I use. I'm not hard on the Blue Yeti. I've never spoken garbage about it. I've just never used it. I have a general rule when it comes to. I think really the only thing that I've never used it, so I can't vouch for its quality. I do often say when people say, "What do you think about the Blue Yeti?" I'll say, "Well, I know some people that use, and that's their career mic." I would say, however, I don't like its size. It's a huge, chunky microphone, and it's definitely not a travel microphone. But if you had a really good setup and a stable, like it's custom UFO-sized shock mount, and we're able to like mount it comfortably and all that kind of stuff, I think it's a good mic. I know tons of people that use it. It's a great mic. Let's see. I'm trying to think of someone who actually has a pretty good career. What was his name? I was actually talking about him before. Jim Meskimen. Huge voiceover role model. I actually had to do a video talking about something that he said, and that hurt me. But he uses the Blue Yeti, and it sounds great. So, and he has a career that's better than mine. Okay. Thanks for the email and the advice. Cool. Lots of people think that the M50Xs are studio monitors, but the sound signature is too uneven. Is this correct? That's very, very hard to say because I've been wearing these for so many years. I have compared them to it was the DT 770s or whatever. I think that's them. Big monsters. I did own a pair of those, and I think those headphones were more accurate, but it sounded muddy, and I don't know what that was about. I don't know. Every pair of headphones is going to color the audio in some way. There's unless you get into like the $200, $300, maybe $400 headphones, you're not going to get perfect one-to-one frequencies. Everything colors in some way. I just know that, I've had the presets that I've been using when dealing with clients, and they seem to like it, and so I don't really change it all that much. That's it. Yeah, the blue sounds good if you EQ out some of the nasally high ends. I mean, the nasally high ends, that just comes with USB mics. USB mics just have an issue with kind of like nasally high sounds. I don't know why that is, but a lot of USB mics. So it's not really the Blue Yeti particularly. That's in the Audio-Technica 2020, and that's in a lot of USBs. Do you ever have bad days when you think you sound bad? I get bad days and it's annoying. As far as like your voice kind of thing. Hello, I'm Nico. Hello, I'm Nico. I'm Tim. I do have, okay. So not that long ago, I had a client where I needed to yell. I needed to do a lot of yelling, and they wanted the roughest, gruffest voice they could do. And I've had a couple of those. And then the following day, yeah, of course I sound terrible. And I know that I sound terrible, but I still have other work to do. And I'll try to, take it slow and relax as much as possible. But, yeah, I do have some of those days. And it's just harder for me to get to that place that I need to be, but it's not impossible. And that just comes with, again, with practice. I've done this so much, and I have so much experience that my voice can bounce back, and I have so much vocal control and that kind of stuff. I know my voice sometimes gets crackly, but I really like it when, that super, yeah. So there's kind of a theory on when to do which voices as far as character work. Like if you have a lot of like deeper voices that you got to do those early in the morning. But I like to take a shower before doing any voiceover, and that kind of loosens up my vocal cords anyway. So, for me, it really just depends on what's available in the day. But I guess, yeah, if you go brush your teeth, get in the studio. If you got something that's got that really deep voice and you want to keep that low resonance, go ahead and do that at first. There's nothing stopping you. But I would say, however, that you don't want your career and best work be dependent on outside circumstances that you don't control. What I mean by that is you don't want... it's kind of like with stand-up comedians and marijuana. There's a lot of stand-up comedians that can only perform or can only write when they're high. And the problem is when they're not high or they don't have that same level buzz, it's not the same. So, you can't rely on other things. Your skills and your performance and your delivery has to be based on you, not, did you get enough sleep, and all that kind of stuff. And did you do it right when you went in, and, what did you eat that day? You have to have enough control to be able to change that. Last thing, I got your email about how you made a video about fixing the gum. Okay. I want to ask about a shock mount for it, but I still couldn't find a way. I think I had to use an adapter. I think. in order to get the the Samsung Go mic on the shock mount that I had in that video, I think I had to use an adapter. Because the, okay, so there's a really small, so there's this size adapter. I don't remember what that is. 1/4 inch, maybe? Maybe big. Maybe bigger. 1/2 inch. I don't remember. Yeah, that was more like 1/2 inch. And then there is the smaller size. I can't find anything with that. But then there is the halfway between those, which is a little bit more rare and less common. And yeah, I had to get an adapter that could go from the smaller one to the slightly bigger one, so that the Samsung Go mic would fit on that shock mount. So I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Maybe I brought it up in the video. It's been so long. What camera are you using? My iPhone. I'm using my iPhone. I would use my computer and my webcam, but it's not perfect. I keep having trouble trying to do live streams with my computer, so I'm just doing live streams with my iPhone. I'll just do Q&As. You know, you guys are getting a kick out of it. Currently using Sennheiser MK4. MK4? MK416. I assume MK416. Is there an MK4? And love it. Good. Ever tried one? What DAW do you use? I am a Reaper user. I have the MK416. That is my studio mic. That is my workhorse microphone. I love that. Love that microphone. Favorite mic. And my two programs, the one I use the most is Audacity, just because I have the most experience with it. But every now and then I do use Adobe Audition. Audacity is the kind of program that I can have on my backup laptop, which is like over there, and on all my computers, because it's free and it doesn't take up a lot of processing power. And I can get in, I have all my presets, bam, bam, gone, and also it's really basic. But then on my big computer, this, my workhorse PC, I also do have Adobe Audition. So it really just depends. Oh, and by the way, what state do you live in? Okay. All right. Creepy. I'm kidding. Texas. I love Texas. Lived in Texas most of my life. I've lived in California. I've lived in Louisiana. I've lived all over the place. But I like Texas the most. And every year I reevaluate. Is it time to move to LA? And then I'm like, nah, not yet. Wait, the Sennheiser ever made an... Wait, has Sennheiser ever made an XLR condenser mic before? Because I think of one right now. Yes, Sennheiser has made tons of XLR condenser microphones. Tons of them. You can go to just Sennheiser.com and they will just give you the list. Oh, please tell me what make of Dead Cat. What make of Dead Cat are you using on your shotgun mic before? Okay, you know what? Let's look that up. I don't have it in front of me. It's Movo. I know that. Let's see. Yeah, it's Movo. All right, there. As far as the size, because there's a particular size. So if you look at these two, this one is much bigger than this one. It's a much bigger shot. Dead Cat. So this one's got a lot of give up at the top. And I actually ordered two of the exact same size, which was this one, but I got one that was just slightly bigger. So I want to make sure that I get you the right information on that one. And then we'll probably call that a night. I don't recommend too much of having big, fluffy Dead Cats because it does dull the sound a little bit of your microphone. But I have it on here because, I want to get rid of all plosives, and I'm not, I don't want to do a lot of editing to this. And so the thing's really good about plosives. No thanks. How far back is it going to be? Movo. Okay, the one that I have should be the 12 centimeter. Yeah, the 12 centimeter, also known as the WS 140. Movo WS 140. Look that up. That's this guy, and I actually like it. You know, I don't really trust Movo, Newer, or a lot of other companies for like a lot of electronics for like microphones and stuff like that. But when it comes to like dead cats and stuff like that, and yeah, they're fine. Coast living is unreal. As in it's not real. As in nobody actually lives over there. Okay, thanks for answering my questions, and I hope you have a great day. I will. And on that, that is an excellent place to leave because I actually got to the bottom of it, and there's no more questions. I did it. I finished without any more questions. So anyway, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. I'll try to do more live streams. Oh, it's 1:40 a.m. where you are? Good Lord. Yeah, get some sleep, bro. Get some sleep. Thank you for answering my questions. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I will. I will chill. Hopefully I'll chill. But yeah. Oh, even my phone's telling me battery's dying. So cool. What was I saying? Shit. If you guys had any questions or needed any help, wanted further clarification on anything, email is FunnyGuyTimmy@gmail.com. It should be in the description. It is. If any coaching, anything like that, subscribe if you're new, bell for notifications, thumbs up, and ask more questions, and I'll try to get to them as much as possible. And I'm trying to do, until all this virus stuff is done with, I'm trying to do a live stream every other Saturday. So next Saturday, there's going to be a video. Following Saturday, another live stream. So that way you guys get a chance to like talk to me in person. I think you guys like that. You guys seem to enjoy it. So anyway, till next time, peace. I could never figure this out. Where are you?